What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Now, just when you think you know everything that's going on in wrestling, we release another video. Join us now as Wrestlelamia brings you the latest wrestling news, including the latest Wednesday Night Raw ratings, a new AEW signing, why Corey Graves wasn't punished, Charlotte Flair being unhappy in WWE, did Mike Kanellis request his release because of the Morea pregnancy angle, and WWE is worried about the health of one WWE superstar. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos. But let's waste no further time and get straight into the first story as the Wednesday Night War continues. The ratings for the 4th December editions of Dynamite and NXT are in, and AEW came out on top this week, albeit by a slim margin. The Wrestling Observer Figure 4 Online reports, after 2 weeks of falling behind NXT in total viewers, AEW slightly regained the lead this week. AEW Dynamite averaged 851,000 viewers last night, edging out NXT, which did 845,000 viewers. The AEW number was up 28% from last week's series low. In the 18 to 49 demographic, the show did a 0.32 rating, 8th place for the night on cable and up 23% from last week. AEW's numbers tanked last week, and there's no denying that NXT had the benefit of being the post-Survivor Series show. The 27th November Dynamite may have dipped in its audience due to it being one of the biggest party nights in the United States, the night before Thanksgiving when most people have the next day off, and the AEW's younger demographic skipping the show for a night out. But whatever the case, both shows enjoyed more viewers from the Thanksgiving week show. But whilst we've just covered the ratings, who ordered the hit on NXT? As we noted in our earlier news video, some fans were surprised by the commercial TNT aired featuring various reviews praising AEW Dynamite and criticizing NXT. According to Dave Meltzer, AEW wasn't responsible for the video. That frickin' TV commercial on TNT, what the fuck? That was a bad idea. That was not an AEW idea. Good thing too, otherwise those were some blatant shots fired. Next up, the method to Moxley's madness. When Jon Moxley left the WWE, he released a cryptic video teasing he'd just escaped from prison with his destination unknown. Moxley remained quiet for a while, but he recently explained to Chris Van Vliet there was a reason for this. Then I did the video and I had to go radio silent for a few months. I had to go into hiding. I didn't even answer my phone or nothing because I didn't want any. Maybe I'd answer the phone if my mom called me or something, but I wanted people to wonder, is he gonna show up in Ring of Honor, AEW, Impact, New Japan or WWE? I wanted people to have no idea, and I think it was pretty effective. The payoff to the video was popping up at Double or Nothing, and everyone instantly got it. They knew I'm Jon Moxley now. They knew my name, they weren't chanting like The Shield or anything. It was just a totally fresh new start instantly out of the gate. Moxley's ploy worked, as many were surprised when he showed up at AEW's debut pay-per-view. But where would a Moxley have gone if AEW didn't exist? During his talk with Van Vliet, Moxley made it clear he wasn't done with wrestling. Wherever the wind blows, definitely Japan, independent. I was kinda scanning out the scene. Pretty soon the AEW thing came along and it was top secret, and I was like, that's pretty sick, alright? I was kinda scoping out the landscape, seeing where I would end up or wherever. Where would you like to see Moxley go if AEW didn't exist? We think he would have been massive in Japan if he had been a mainstay there. Next up, why Graves wasn't punished. NXT fans were delighted to see Mauro Ranallo return to the announce booth after taking some time off following an ill-advised tweet from Corey Graves criticizing his commentary. Still, some fans are curious why Graves wasn't reprimanded for his thoughtless tweet. According to PW Insider's Mike Johnson, the answer is simple. I was told this week when all of that went down that nothing is going to happen to Corey Graves. Vince loves Corey Graves, so Vince does love him. I don't know why, but he loves him. Next up, why are there no matches for TLC? Yep, if you haven't realized, TLC is actually next Sunday. Yet we've just had another episode of Raw, and tonight we'll have SmackDown, but there have been 0 matches announced. Well, according to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, they report that Vince McMahon has changed things several times in regards to the whole match card. He's not even sure which matches will have gimmicks and which ones won't. They mentioned McMahon has also changed course several times. As of last word, Reigns vs Corbin will be a stipulation match, while Rusev vs Lashley won't, but that can all change. They also mentioned that they're likely to make cuts to the card, 2 matches specifically, where they mentioned 2 other matches are on right now and unlikely to be changed, which are Aleister Black vs Buddy Murphy and Viking Raiders defending the Raw Tag Team titles against Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. They might instead get their matches on the go-home episode of Raw, or the Raw after TLC. But Vince has taken a new approach to pay-per-views in general. McMahon's new philosophy is that the pay-per-views are all about network sign-ups as opposed to the limited pay-per-view business still being done. The belief based on patterns of sign-ups is that they are big the last day of the show and not before. Seems like McMahon is now taking the approach that there's no need to actually hype any matches, as most of the buys will come the night before. Fair enough, but we hope that he's not doing this with every single pay-per-view. Next up, Mike Kanellis wasn't concerned with the Morea storyline. When Mike Kanellis requested his release after signing a new 5-year contract with the WWE, speculation arose why he suddenly wanted to back out. If you thought he was unhappy with the storyline of his wife browbeating him and teasing she was pregnant by another man, well, that's not the case according to Kanellis, who spoke with Radio.com's Swing and Misses show about the pregnancy angle.
My only issue was it didn't go anywhere. And if I'm going to do a storyline like that, I'd like for it to go somewhere. I think all the fans would like for it to go somewhere. There should be a payoff. There should be something that happens so you can either say yay or boo. But to me, the fact that it was just stopped and then moved, it's like, well, what was the point of all of that? I don't mind trying something new. I don't mind thinking outside the box. I don't mind embarrassing myself on television. I wrestle in underwear for a living. I really don't care. So if they're like, oh, you have to be emasculated by your wife, I'm like, fine. Like, I don't care. I really don't. At the end of the day, I'm still a performer. I'm still a wrestler. And if the next day they could be like, all right, we're going to make you the toughest man on the planet. Okay. Again, it's a fake storyline. It's fake wrestling. I get offended when it doesn't go anywhere.
Next up, a new wrestler is signed to AEW. All Elite Wrestling executives have discussed how the roster is not complete yet, and AEW recently revealed another signing. According to Bleacher Report's Jonathan Snowden, Chief Brand Officer Brandy Rhodes confirmed to him that All Elite Wrestling has just signed Chris Statlander to a contract with the company. Statlander, dubbed the Galaxy's favorite alien by the commentary team, was one of the hottest free agents competitors available and seemed to have signed with WWE at one point. Early reports proved premature though, as Statlander appeared on AEW Dark shortly thereafter. This is a good move for AEW as the promotion's women's division is currently its weakest link. With Brandy Rhodes forming her female faction, the Nightmare Collective, and AEW bringing in new female talent, the women's division is finally showing hope for an entertaining division. Next up, is Charlotte Flair unhappy with her current storyline? While Charlotte Flair is currently working in an all-star tag team situation, teaming with Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch against Women's Tag Team Champions the Kabuki Warriors, Corey Graves doesn't think she's happy and Flair seems to agree. During the latest episode of After the Bell, Graves commented that Charlotte Flair has never felt less important than she does right now. This whole tag team thing with Charlotte finding a different partner week after week, it just doesn't click. I'm not feeling it, and it looks to me like Charlotte's not feeling it. You can see it on her face. Charlotte Flair looks like she's going through the motions and getting through the night. Charlotte Flair carried the main event of WrestleMania this year because she's a pro. She's highly talented, and when she's motivated, dare I say, untouchable. I miss the Queen. My Queen, the villainess that just kicked everybody's ass because she was superior. I know I'm forced to explain myself ad nauseum, but allow me to reiterate one more time. I want my Queen back. Charlotte responded on Twitter saying, the problem is, he's not entirely wrong. Is this a work or a legitimate complaint? What do you guys think? Should Charlotte Flair be at the top of the women's division, or is it time to give someone else a chance? Let us know in the comments down below. And lastly, WWE is worried about a WWE superstar's health. Jeff Hardy is going through a rough patch right now as he deals with another DUI arrest, but what's going on between Jeff and the WWE? According to Mike Johnson of PW Insider, Jeff Hardy's deal is that it's frozen because he's hurt, So they've tacked time on, so why would they fire him when they can hold him even longer? As we know, Jeff is in the middle of another legal quandary. I can tell you from a source very close to the situation that WWE strongly implored Jeff to address his health, and we're told that Jeff is doing that and really aggressively dove right into it. So you can't fire the guy when he's doing what you asked him to do. We'll see what happens when he goes to court. Of course, Wrestlelamia wishes Jeff Hardy all the best in his ongoing battle for sobriety. But there you have it guys, the latest wrestling news. Be sure to leave your comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.